Good morning, everybody. Hopefully you had a wonderful summer weekend. Get started here. We got the 5Q tape breakdown last week. This week's 1-minute snippet is during the DocuBank script. Does he get emotional hook he needs at the end? So, guys, again, I know I preach about this every other week, but this is so important for you to keep your skill level up, and it's only a 5 or 10-minute investment. And again, if you really are concerned about selling everybody you get in front of, how many minutes does that take a day? If you're really concerned about selling everybody you get in front of, how many minutes does that take a day? Nick's got it. Tom, Dale's got it. Come on, guys, I'm going to wait. How many minutes a day does it take to make sure you can sell everybody? So I got 3 right answers. That's it. So what does that tell me about you guys doing what you should be doing? It's a 15-minute, the most important 15 minutes a day. Guys, if you didn't answer your emails for the first 15 minutes of every day, how would that affect your business? How much money would you lose if you didn't answer your emails the first 15 minutes of the day? None. How much money would you lose if you didn't answer your voicemails for 2 minutes a day? What would happen if you didn't pick up or look at the computer for the 15 minutes a day? What would happen if you didn't do any of the things you've been doing right now for the first 15 minutes? Nothing. But if you invest 15 minutes a day, that's all it takes, 15 minutes a day, to get a little bit better every day at your selling skills. Because, guys, why? This is not you, but I'll tell you what, when we bring people on to the 5Q system and we ask them why they, what they're doing for marketing, they tell us they don't market, and we ask why don't they market, they say because it doesn't get good people. It's not that they don't get people, it's that they don't get good people. And Jeff, what's the definition of don't get good people when we bring somebody onto 5Q?
They don't get people that are any little bit skeptical, that aren't just ready to move when they come in.
And guys, is there any marketing that pre-sells people? Is there any marketing that pre-sells people so they're ready to move when they come in? Is there? If there was marketing that pre-sold people, how many people would be, or how many of us would be out of business? All of us. Because who's the biggest expense to the insurance companies? Who's the biggest expense to the money market managers? Who would they like to take out of the loop? Us. So, about 10% of people can be pre-sold. They're the people who can be sold by Fisher, who can be sold by Vanguard. They're the do-it-yourselfers. They can be sold, about 10% of people. But the other 90%, they're going to come in and be tire kickers, and they're going to be plate lickers. So when you market, what percentage of people are tire kickers and plate lickers? When you market and you fill a room with 40 people, or you get 15 people to respond to your mailing, if you're doing lead generation, what percentage are tire kickers and plate lickers? Yeah, Mark says 90%. That's right. But what if you could sell those 90%? Can you sell 90% of tire kickers and plate lickers, guys? Can you sell 100%? Yeah. You just turn away 10% of them. But the only way you're going to do that, if you're not spending 15 minutes a day working on your selling skills, you're never going to be able to sell tire kickers and plate lickers. So please, please, please invest that time in yourself. So just a few things that we're going to cover before we get to the main section here. JP Morgan CEO Dimon sums up the U.S. economy in one paragraph, and it sounds bad. Geopolitical tension, high inflation, waning consumer confidence, the uncertainty about how high rates have to go, and never before seen quantitative tightening and their effects on global liquidity are very likely to have negative very likely. How about absolutely have negative consequences on the global economy sometime down the road, he warned. Now, let's just look at one of those things, consumer confidence. So this is the Michigan Consumer Expectations. Today's chart helps answer the question by presenting 7 Michigan Index Consumer Expectations, 12-month rate of change versus the ensuing average S&P 500 12-month gain. Stock market has performed. Here's consumer expectations, and here's how the stock market has performed. So guess where we are right now? What is this number right here? What is this number right here? From 1952 to present, every time we've been where we are right now. So this was just taken. This was just taken. So it says we have another greater than 20% to fall. Another greater than 20% to fall. So we're at bottom now, guys. Are we anywhere near bottom right now? And again, this is just one indicator. Remember, there's like 15, 20 indicators. And where are all of those indicators right now? Still, even after we've had this correction of, say, 20%, where are all the indicators? They're now saying, hey, we're near rock bottom. Things are looking good. Let's go. Is that where they are? No. In prevalence of selling, this market is a rout without equal. Sweeping losses hit S&P 500 at frequency never seen before. Even the long storied history of market meltdowns, the breadth of losses is without equal based on data that goes back to the Great Depression, back to the 20s. In 5 of the 7 sessions to Thursday, at least 9 out of 10 S&P 500 stocks dropped. That's crazy. If a similar, slightly less soaring picture prevailed across treasuries to corporate bonds, commodities, everything was down for a second straight week. In your view, if your view is that the bear markets end in bangs rather than whimpers, the last week or so provides evidence that something is approaching capitulation is occurring. History, however, shows that it doesn't always work like that. As often as not, first bursts of catharsis give way to extended seasons of inertia. Because once it goes down and people feel enough pain, what happens? People don't invest and it goes down and creeps down and creeps down and creeps down. But a lot of people say, I've heard a lot of advisors say, yeah, but look at the earnings. And what are all the experts saying is going to happen to corporate earnings going forward? What are they all saying? Over the next year, what's going to happen to corporate earnings? Now, this is what the experts are saying. Well, you know what? Some people are saying down. Well, that is what's going to happen. But the experts are saying it's going to go up. Wall Street is showing a pretty, because this is what Wall Street thinks earnings are going to be. But guess what? Guess how it gets? Can they be wrong? Yes, absolutely they can be wrong. Wall Street has shown a pretty spotty record predicting downturns. For instance, at the start of 2008, the eve of the global financial crisis, analysts predicted a 15% gain in the S&P 500 profits. It ended up falling 72%. And guys, right now, what's happening? Are people going to be spending more money in the next 12 months or less money in the next 12 months? More or less. Yes. So as tempting as it is to call a bottom, history suggests bear markets usually take time to find a floor, especially when they are accompanied by a recession. What seemed like a cathartic sell-off in 2008, a loss of almost identical to April's of this year, was followed close behind by 3 months that were appreciably worse and 2 more of almost equal size. Same was true during the bursting of the internet bubble of 2001. The S&P 500 dropped more than 10% in 3 of the following 6 periods. So does it just go down once, or does it go down and then up, down further and then up, and down further and then go up? That's a typical bear market. Was the bear market we saw for 3 months at the beginning of the COVID, was that a bear market, or was that just a momentary blip? Yeah, that wasn't a bear market. But now we're seeing bear markets. And bear markets, if you look at all the bear markets back 100 years, do they just go down and then go back like a V? Or are they down and up, down and up, down and up? Down 2 steps, up 1, down 2 steps, up 1, down 2 steps, up 1, till it completely wrings the market out of anybody who would ever want to be in the market right now. Does that make sense? So please, please, please don't think we're at a bottom, because we ain't. So, but the big thing I want to talk about is this. I want to take it from being sad to being, well, to being happy. And how you can do that is, have you ever found a bunch of money in the dryer when you open the dryer? For those of you that help your spouse with the laundry, or you take a suit out of the closet and you find a $20 bill in the pocket. I mean, how does that make you feel? I want to help you find money today. Find money today. And the great thing is that what I'm going to show you works when the markets are up, works when the markets are down, works when interest rates are up, interest rates are down, economy's good, economy's bad, and even works when people are scared or people are happy. And the best thing is it's about your integrity. Integrity is doing the right thing even if nobody is watching. Now, our clients have entrusted us with their money. So how much do we owe our clients? If they've entrusted us with their money, how much do we owe clients? A lot or a little? And if you only help them with their investments, are you an advisor? If you're giving them advice on their investments and that's all that you're doing is giving them advice on investments, are you an advisor or are you a salesperson? So what you need to do is you need to make your customers a priority. It's an essential step to success, okay? You need to provide value to your clients. You have to be a value creator, a deal maker, strategic thinker, rainmaker. When it comes to being a trusted advisor, you need to do all these things. So I have a question for you. If I flew to your town and I personally, Mike Kasalek, started meeting with your clients and wanted to take them from you, would you be worried? I started meeting with all your clients. Would you be worried that I would start taking them from you? So here's the thing. If you're doing things the right way, should you be worried about me taking them from you? No. So what do I mean by doing things the right way? Yes, Dale. Yes, Nick. If you've done all the non-financial things and you're doing the right things for your clients with at least 50% in guaranteed FIAs versus all too heavily in the market, should you be worried about me taking your clients? But I guarantee if you have not done the non-financial things for your clients, you're toast. You're cooked. Because I will make you look like the worst advisor in the world. And as far as I'm concerned, are you the worst advisor? Are you as bad as everybody else out there if you haven't done the non-financial things? Because then you're no longer an advisor. You're what? You're a salesman. So you shouldn't be worried about me or anybody else taking your clients if you've done the right thing. How do you bulletproof your business and found money right in your own backyard? If you do the 21 light process. So here's the thing. I want everybody that's done 21 lights with more than 50% of their clients to raise their hand right now. And if you raise your hand, I am going to have a phone call with you and make sure that's the case. So how many of you have done 21 lights with more than 50% of your clients? Guys, you're missing the boat. When you do 21 lights, the thing is, you will make all sorts of money by doing the right thing. So let's just talk about a couple of those things. If you did not do 21 lights with your clients, and they don't have, how many of your clients have that are age 62 and up, or really age 60 and up, have their power of attorney taken care of for Social Security purposes? All of them? How many of them have you talked about, hey, when your spouse dies, you're going to lose half your Social Security? Have you looked at the program that would protect that? How many of them? Way to go, Ben. Way to go, John. So you need to be doing the 21 lights. And how long does a 21 light take to do, guys? How long does a 21 light to do? Talk about these 7 non-financial things. How long does it take to do? Yep, 30 minutes. That's right. Less than an hour, right, Mark? And when you do that, when you go through the power of attorney, making sure now the other thing you should do with a power of attorney is, let's talk about that for a second. The power of attorney, we have a fix for the fact that it doesn't work with Social Security, but also how many financial organizations, how many banks and brokerages will honor your client's power of attorney? Very, very few. So the other question I have is, do you have your money managers? Do you have your client's bank? I don't care if you don't get paid to do this. That's what this is about. How many of you have your client's bank's power of attorney, all the brokerages' powers of attorney, every single thing that they have financially, their power of attorney, their individual power of attorney? So if they have money at the U.S. bank, do you have the U.S. bank power of attorney signed and in their documents for them? If you have a money manager, do you have the money managers? If you have sold an annuity, do you have the insurance company's power of attorney signed for them? That's what you're doing with a 21 Lite, making sure that there's no holes. See, and this is the kind of stuff: power of attorney, medical power of attorney, DocuBank, survivor's guide, quality of life directive, identity theft plan, property casualty. You take a client from being happy to being in love with you. And when you do that, when you do these 7 things and you show them that there are holes in the shit, and are you responsible? I mean, is it really your fault if you don't make sure the power of attorneys are working with the bank? If you don't make sure, you could make a case that no, it's not your fault. But I'll make the case that as a financial advisor, you shouldn't call yourself a financial advisor unless you do. But right, in most people's eyes, you wouldn't be responsible for this. That's attorneys. You wouldn't be responsible for this. That's the doctors. You wouldn't be responsible for this. That's a funeral director. You wouldn't be responsible for this because it's a security expert. You wouldn't be responsible for this because it's a property casualty. But you know what? If we're a financial advisor, then we're a what? An advisor. See, but when you start doing all these things, do you get paid to do any of these things? And if you really want to show somebody you care, you start doing things that only the things you do get paid for or things that you don't get paid for. My family, and I've talked to other advisors across the country, my family is totally in love and dedicated to Discount Tire. Why are we totally in love with and dedicated to Discount Tire? We don't even think about going to any place else when we have a tire problem. Why? How do they take care of you? At least half the trips that my family has made to Discount Tire, we were not charged for a small leak, for whatever. They say, oh, don't worry about it. So guess where we go when we need tires? There. The reason they have such a loyal following is because they do things they don't get paid for. If you want to take a client from happy to in love with you, you do the things you don't get paid for. And then when you do that, they think, how can I repay you? I liked him before. I love him now. Look at all this stuff that he's done for me. And no charge whatsoever. Look at all this stuff he's done for me. And these are problems I didn't even know I had. The attorney didn't tell me I had these problems. The doctor didn't tell me I had these problems. My property casualty agent didn't tell me I had these problems. My advisor told me I had these problems. I love this guy. How can I pay him? Well, they start throwing you money. And here's what we found. The average amount that our clients throw at our guys when they do 21 Lights is $30,000. Because what does all the research show about us having all the clients' monies? Do we have all the clients' monies? We do not. So on average, with 5Q guys that have done the 21-point checklist, they found an average of 30,000. That might be no money, 60,000, no money, 50,000, no money, 90,000. But they start throwing the orphan 401ks, orphaned IRAs, inherited money, sale from a second home or something, and they start finding the money to throw at the advisors. So think about this. Multiply the number of clients you have right now times $30,000. What does that equal? If you have 50 clients, what's that equal? Now, I hope to God you have more than 50 clients, but if you have 50 clients, what does that equal? 1.5 million. What's 1.5 million times 6%? It's 90 grand. It's $90,000. That's who's 50 clients. Now, let's talk about what a client is. I've talked to some advisors who say, I don't really have any clients. I say, well, how long have you been in business? Well, 25 years. But Mike, I just, I sold things and I'm sorry. I know I didn't do it the right way. It's my fault. But I sold things to them and then I never talked to them again. Are they still your clients? If you sold something to somebody and you never talk to them again, are they still your clients? Do you have a relationship with them? Yes, they still are your clients. Absolutely, they're still your clients. You still have a relationship. Who shows up on their annuity contract if you sold them an annuity? You know, one of the stories I like to tell is one of our good advisors, shame on him, was trying to get away. He'd done so well. He was only working with clients with $1 million or more. So he had a client with $300,000 that he didn't want anymore. So he was trying to get rid of them by attrition. He tried to give them to another advisor. They weren't interested in that. So he tried to just get rid of them by never talking. Shame on him. But he tried to get rid of them by never talking to them, never communicating with them. Didn't even send newsletters to them. And this had gone on for like 5 years. And all of a sudden, the client calls him up and says, "Hey, you know what? I was just at this seminar, and they were talking about this thing that, you know, that could grow with the market but didn't lose money. Is that something that's good or that you could help me with?" Hadn't talked to him for 5 years, but they still looked at him as what? Even though he treated them like crap, they still looked at him as what? So Jeff, when somebody says they don't have clients and they've been in the business for 10 years or more or 5 years or more, is that really ever the case?
No, if you've sold people, you have clients.
What if they move from St. Louis to Florida? Do they still have clients? Is everything we do they have to fly down to Florida to do any of the things that we recommend they do with 5Q? Do they have to go to Florida? It can all be done on the computer.
It can all be done online.
So guys, you all have clients. Multiply the number of people you've sold times 30,000. That's how much money is sitting in your backyard right now. And do you have to ask for that money? No. You do the things you don't get paid for, and then you say, "Can I show you an idea?" And then you do the FIA presentation. And when you do the FIA, acres to diamonds, that's right, Tom. When you do the FIA presentation, the funny thing is, when advisors are a little bit skittish about doing the FIA presentation, they say, "I just sold that person an FIA 3 months ago." These are brand new people that will say this to me when they come on 5Q. "I just sold that person an FIA three months ago. I really don't feel comfortable going back and showing the FIA presentation." "Well, why don't you feel comfortable?" "Because I just sold them this." And they're going to think, "Why am I talking about something I just sold them?" I said, "Go ahead and do it anyways." And they will do it, and they'll call up and say, "You know what, Mike, my clients were mad at me." So why were the clients mad at that advisor? Because he's selling them something he just sold them 3 months ago? Why are those clients mad at him? And they were mad at him only you know, for a minute or two, but they were mad at him. Why? Because he showed them the same thing. Yes, they didn't realize that what they had was the thing that the FIA presentation showed. They're like, after you do the FIA presentation, they're like, "Well, why didn't you put me in this instead of the thing you put me in 3 months ago?" And then the advisor says what? "Well, that's the good thing. It is the thing I put you in 3 months ago." And then the client says, "Well, let's put more there." So why did the client not recognize the fact that after they did the FIA presentation, recognize that that's what they've invested in 3 months ago? Because 3 months ago, did the advisor really spend an awfully good explanation? Or did he tell, sell, preach, and teach? Did he use motivational interviewing and let the client explain to him how an FIA worked, why it was good, why it was better than money management, why it's protected, why it's a fairer way to pay fees? Or did he just tell them? And see, when he told them, guess what a client's hearing? Kind of like the Peanuts thing, wah, 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 wah. And then they say, "Do you think we should do this?" And the advisor says yes, and then they do it. Do they understand anything that's going on, or are they just putting the trust in the advisor at that point? Yes. But using the FIA, all of a sudden it goes from the advisor's idea to their idea. And guess how much more money they'll put into something when it's their idea versus the advisor's idea? More or less? A lot more, that's right. So this is how much money you're missing in your backyard per number of clients you have, whether you think they're your clients or not. If you sold somebody in the past, they are your client. And now why can you go back to people that you haven't talked to in 3 years or 5 years even and get them to listen to you? Because what are you talking to them about? Selling them something or doing all these things you don't get paid for? And if you're wondering how you can get in touch with them, how you get them, talk to me, set an appointment with me, and I will tell you how to get those people from 3 or 5 years ago to take a meeting with you. Now, will it be all of them? No. But a good half of them will. That means we're going from people you thought 100% of people you thought you didn't have relationships to, and cutting that in half to creating relationships with half of those people, which you're going to get paid an average of $30,000 per client. That's real money, guys. The other thing that happens is when somebody goes from liking you to loving you, see, liking you, they want to spend time alone with you. When they love you, they want you to meet everyone they know. You're going to get referrals when you do 21 Lights. Why? Why does our referral script work versus all the other referral scripts out there? I've been professionally selling for nearly 40 years now. And I've read 1,000 articles on referrals. I've got 2 books on my sales about referrals, and they're all full of garbage. They're all BS. Why? Because they all revolve around one of 2 things, which is scripts on getting the client to help you. Hey, I'm paid in 2 different ways. One is blah, blah, blah. And how does that work, guys? Or, you know what, when you give me referrals, it means I don't have to market and I can spend more time watching your accounts, and the client's thinking, say, what? You're not watching my accounts all the time? Maybe I need to find a new advisor. So does it referral scripts work when you say, help me, the advisor? No. Does it work when you say, hey, do you have any friends, neighbors, relatives that can help? Do they really want, when somebody asks you for a referral after they've sided your house or roofed your house, do you give them a name, or do you say, hey, you know what, you did a fantastic job, give me some of your cards. If any of my friends need your help, I will give them your card. Or do you say, here's a list of my friends, here's all their emails, and here's all their phone numbers, give them a call? Is that what you do? Or do you say, hey, give me a bunch of your cards, if they ever need you, I'll give them your card? They do not want to refer to you. Now, if anybody's to ask them, hey, do you know a good advisor? They're going to refer you at that point. But how often does that happen a year? So why does our referral script work when none of the other ones? Does our referral script work in that it helps helps you, the advisor? Absolutely it does, because you get a referral. Does it help their friend, neighbor, relative? Absolutely it does, because you're going to help that friend, neighbor, relative. But who does it really help? It helps the client. So Jeff, you're my client.
Okay, I'm here.
And it's a short script, guys. It's a short script. So Jeff, these 7 things we just covered, important or not important?
Oh, they're important.
Because if we didn't get these things done, how much time, money, and hassle would you be in for?
Yeah, it would be a lot.
A lot. So we'll get these things taken care of, no problem. I guess I bring that up because are there people in your life that, I don't know, come to your advice, or you shoot the you know what with them about different things, or you share ideas, or they run things by you?
Yeah, we have a few people like that.
Now, guys, not every client's going to say that, but you'll find quite a few clients will say that. And I'll say, so, and I bring that up because if one of your friends or relatives has these problems, they're in for the same amount of time, hassle, and money you'd be in for. And obviously they don't want that, so they're going to be looking for ideas. Guess whose phone they might pick up and call?
Yeah, they might call us.
And then their problems have become whose problems?
Our problems.
Even if you can't help it, do you start to feel guilty? And does it start to weigh in your mind?
Yeah, obviously it does.
Yeah, I mean, if you wouldn't be a good friend or relative if you didn't do that. So I guess I bring that up because we'd like to spend a half an hour with them, help them fill out the exact same paperwork, and then that way their problems never become your problems. So out of role play here, Jeff, what's easier for you to make a referral? If I say, hey, do you have any friends, neighbor, relatives? Do you think we're doing a good job with your money, Jeff?
No, it's a lot easier to just say, hey.
Well, wait. No, you're still the client. So Jeff, we just got done looking at the accounts. I mean, do you think we're doing a good job with your money?
Yeah, I think you're doing a pretty good job. Absolutely.
Yeah. I said, do you have any friends, neighbors, relatives I can help with that? Now, what's going through your mind when I say that, Jeff?
Now that you're going to call them if I give you a name or.
And they're going to love you for sicking me on them.
No, not at all.
So are you going to give me any names?
No.
Now, if I said, say, would you like me to sit down for a half an hour? We'll fill out this paperwork. Is that a safer referral? Or is that even a referral? Is that you doing them a favor?
Yep. No, that's a lot easier to do.
So, guys, that's why that referral script works. Now, when you sit down with them, you do only cover those 7 non-financial things. But invariably, guess what they do after you cover them 7 non-financial things? Guess what they ask? What else do you do? And they've just invited you into what? sell them. And do we have a script, guys? Do we have a script that will take them from a 21 Lite to a full 21? Yes, we do. And it only takes you about 2 minutes to convert them from a 21 Lite to a full 21 by saying something like, well, these are just 7 of the things. We actually have software where we run people through and find benefits they're owed but not receiving. These 7 here, these are the easy ones, but the big ones that will save you thousands and actually tens of thousands benefits that you're owed and not getting, we can find using our software. And it really just, it only takes me a few minutes. The software already has, it doesn't cost me. It only takes me a few minutes to input your data to find those things. So did you like these 7 things and these things? Yes. Would you like me to just run the software so you can find the other 14 that are even things that are even bigger than this? What do they all say to that? After you just helped them those 7 non-financial things, they're amazed by what you brought to their attention. Guess what they say? Yes. Boom. Now you got a full 21. And when you do a full 21, guess what? If even half of your clients give you, and that's what we average generally, is about half of the clients, or we get about a half a referral per client. And the reason we get a half a referral per client is because you'll have no referral, 2 referrals, no referral, 3 referrals, no referral, 1 referral, no referral of 4 referrals. But you average a half of your clients will give you a referral. So do you get just 30,000 when you get a new client, or do you get a heck of a lot more? So now you've got the referral money. You have, and now let's say, what if you say, well, that didn't work for me, I didn't get half. What if you only got a quarter of your clients times 400,000? If you have 50 clients, what's a quarter of 50,000? Let's just say 10. Let's say it's 20% of 50 clients. It's 10. What's 10 times 400,000? What if you only get an eighth? What's 5 times 400,000? Is this real money, guys? Then when you add it, the amount of money that you've gotten from helping your clients, and they start throwing you the little 401ks, orphan 401ks, inherited money, etc. Plus, when you get those referrals, you've now got what? A treasure trove. And how much money did you invest to get that treasure trove? To get that $90,000, $150,000, $200,000 in income? How much money did you invest? See, you found that lost treasure. So the things that we haven't talked about, well, you found that the treasure cost you nothing yet. But what we don't want to do is lose that treasure. How can you lose that treasure, guys? How can you lose that treasure? See if anybody's got their thinking cap on today. Well, by not doing the 21 Lite, I agree with that. But how can you lose that treasure? Everybody's getting by not doing the 21 Lites. Well, you're absolutely right, and that'll happen in a number of ways. But here's another way for you to lose that treasure. The numbers tell the story. In a survey of 1,000 plus investors conducted by MFS Investment Management in 2013, 75% of clients said their children had never met their FIAs. No wonder only 2% of children stay with their clients with their parents' advisor. Price Waterhouse found the same thing. Fidelity found the same thing, saying that 90 to 95% of offspring leave their parents' advisors upon receiving inheritance. And you heard Tom, one of our best advisors, talk about this. He lost $2 million, was moved when his client died, and his client loved him. But what did the kid do? Even though the client loved Tom, Tom's clients love him. But what did that child do when the parent died? Called up Tom and said, "Hey, I'd like to work with you." No, moved the money. And Tom admitted it was because he wasn't able to get in or had neglected to get those children involved. And you're saying, well, 2013, have things really changed in 2013, guys? Or have the children seen even more online investing, Robinhood investing, online, all this stuff that, they're convinced now that what? Their children think, they don't even go to Fisher. What do their children think? They're what? What do their children think? Yeah, they're financial geniuses. So it doesn't matter. This is an article from Investment News that there's $30 trillion going to be exchanging it met with a lot of hand wringing. As big as the transfer is, there's an equally well-known statistic that usually accompanies the discussion. They're saying 2/3 of errors. So I don't care if you think it's a 98%, 90%, or in the low 2/3 of percent. How much money are you leaving or losing when that happens? So by doing 21 lights, you make money by finding money your clients haven't told you about. You make money by finally getting referrals more reliably. You make money by keeping money when the spouse dies, because do spouses leave their advisor? And eventually when both parents dies. And you do it by what? Being a hard salesman, going back, producing more product for them to buy? How are you doing it, guys? That's right. Providing value, integrity, doing the right thing for your clients. That's how you find money in your backyard. So Jerry, you help guys do this all the time. Or am I out to lunch here? All this stuff that I talked about here today, just hoopla and garbage and BS.
No, these are facts. I mean, it's amazing. It's actually quite fun seeing the different things that come about when guys do this. And I've worked with guys years and years on doing 21 lights with people. And one of the stories that kind of sticks out to me, it's not an uncommon one, is I had a guy I was just talking with, and I was just saying, hey, how would you like to find a way to be able to go make some money, and kind of an easy, low cost way to do it? And he's like, yeah. He's like, I'm all ears. I'm like, well, let's start doing back and doing 21 lights with our clients. And he's like, all right, but I'm like, the best way to do it. I'm like, one thing with this is it's going to be practice doing full 21s. Let's go back and let's start doing them with clients just to kind of start getting us warmed up. And when you go through this whole process, you end up building some reciprocity. They love what you're doing the right thing, and typically people find money. And he's like, all right, I like this. And I said, well, let's start with your best client here, first of all. And he's like, well, I don't know if I want to start with my best client because I already have all their money. They're my best client. And I do want to do, I want to be able to make some money while I'm doing this. So let me go to some that I maybe don't, I think I may not have some. I'm like, do you love your clients? Do you care about your clients? And he's like, yeah, I do. And I said, well, if you love your clients, I know maybe you think you have it all, but we should be doing this with our best client first. I mean, this is our best client. And he agreed. He's like, yeah, that makes sense. I need to do the right thing. And they are my best client. And if they had given me all their money, they should be the one I'm looking to do this with, if I really believe that. And I said, but let's go back. I guarantee you, it's amazing when you go do this, the things that popped up. And so he kind of reluctantly, but he's like, you know what? You're right. You make sense. I do love my clients. I do care about them. I do want to do the right thing for them. So he went ahead and went back, did the 21 light with his best client here, his very best client who he had all the money for. He had all their money. He had been working with them for 10 years. Okay? And he went through it with them. And lo and behold, when we went through this, he did the right thing. All of a sudden, there was an orphan 401k. And it wasn't a little one. It wasn't 80 grand. It wasn't 60 grand. It wasn't 150 grand. The client had a $500,000 401k that was sitting there, and he felt he had all the money. He was absolutely blown away because he had known this client for 10 plus years, and there was $500,000 sitting there that he had no clue. Now, I don't know if it was, he finally, was these extra things and, the client felt reciprocity towards him because he's like, oh man, I mean, I had this. I think it really was. He loved it. He loved that he did all these things and he wanted a way to be able to do something good. And it kind of clicked in his mind. He's like, hey, I have this 401k here. I didn't really need it. What do you think we should do with it? And it honestly gets better. One of the other things that we talked about in here, and Mike was talking about referrals, because the client was so happy that he did it for him and felt the value that was there, and also felt that there were things that, he had family members. In fact, he actually referred the advisor over to, I believe it was his brother, because he said, hey, there's a lot of things here I would like you to be able to take care of for him. He went ahead, talked to his brother about it, and his brother's like, absolutely, I want this stuff too as well. So he goes and does it with that brother, and he had about a $450,000 account for him as well. So I just thought, it was just an amazing thing. This guy was thrilled. So, I mean, he was running to go do his 21 lights because at that point, he just had never seen that, couldn't believe it, that by him just taking this little step. And the best part about it is he initially didn't really want to do it because he felt like he had everything. But what he did was he did the right thing, and he went out and he took care of these non-financial topics, even though there really wasn't on this first opportunity. He really didn't feel like there was a chance. The thing is, it isn't even just this guy here too as well. This happens all the time with reps that we go back and do it. And that's where I always tell people, hey, go ahead. Let's start with the easiest person, which is your best client. Because if you're not comfortable doing this and you haven't done these before in the past, it's a great person to go do it. First of all, they're your best client. So you want to take care of and do a good thing and do it for them. And then second of all, if it's your first time doing it, they're going to give you a lot of leeway. First of all, they don't know if you're doing a good job or a bad job with it anyways, but they're going to give you lots of leeway. It's a great first person to go do it with. So you can kind of, if you feel like there's some little kinks and you want to get your words right and you want to be smooth and flowing, and maybe they ask you a question or two that you want to, maybe you don't have all the answers for right away, you can at least go ahead with that person. Figure out, kind of get the ropes with that first one, and then after this, after one, then you're flying high and you're doing really well on that, and then you can start going through the rest of them. So, it's a common thing, just to go through, do the right thing, and then you end up finding some opportunities when you go through it. And like I always tell guys too, it's great practice for getting, if you haven't done a lot of full 21s, this is the best step to be able to get into that as well. Make a little money while you're doing it, and then that really kind of helps prep you into doing full 21s and builds the treasure trove Mike was talking about. And then if you ever want to go do some sort of marketing, you've kind of built some of that up. And then, big time all the time here too, I've had plenty of guys where I've talked to where they came up to me. This is one of the things we were talking about, why it's important to do 21s too, is I've had guys that I've talked to about doing this, and then they come up to me 3-4 months down the road, like, oh, Jerry, we should have started doing those 21s. I had a client here that, they went out here now and playing defense because there's an annuity that they're buying from some other guy here. And I'm like, well, why didn't you go in here and do the 21 light with them and show them some other options that were here and go do the FIA presentation? Well, I don't know. I always felt like there was more time. They're my client. I'd always have more time on the road. So a lot of guys are always kicking the can down the road on this stuff too. And it's just not something that you want to do. So, go out and do the right thing and find some money while you're at it. That's, and if you need help, I'm more than happy to help you guys out on it.
Jerry is, I am, Jeff is. So guys, until you've done it, first of all, as Jerry pointed out, if he's your best client, you owe it to them, or you're just a salesman. If you do not do these things, you are just as bad as every other advisor out there is doing these things. It makes you a true advisor. But if you need help, Jerry's going to help you. I'm going to help you. Jeff's going to help you. If they're not going well, tape them, and I'd be happy to listen to a tape and make sure that you are getting that found money, that you are getting them the referrals working. Make sense? And we have lots of help here. We have the referral script right here under the 21 Light process. So 21 Light process, getting started, toolbox, 21 Light process. We have the manual. We have the referral script. We have how to turn a 21 Light script into a full 21-point checklist. And the reason we have that there is a lot of our guys have huge P&C practices or tax practices or health insurance practices. Doing 21 Lights with those folks, it's easy once you do 21 Lights to get them converted to a full 21-point checklist, as it is getting referrals converted from a 21 Light to a full 20-point checklist. Now, for those of you that have lots of clients or clients out of state, we have the 21 Light presentation you can actually do via online, or if you want to do it in small groups in your office, conference rooms, or whatever. We have that as well. So there's lots of resources for you. And then what should you do if you find money then? That's the nice thing. What do you do if you find money? As Jerry said, if you do 21 Lights, that's going to make your skills better or worse for full 21s. Make you more or less confident in what you're doing and the value of providing value. It's going to make you more confident. So guess what you should then do with the not all of it, but with the portion of that found money? What would be a good thing to do? Yeah, market. Market. But right now, would I bother marketing right now for the next 6 months? Or would I go back and see every single client because it is the right thing to do? If they gave you money, it is the right thing to do. If you haven't seen them in 5 years, it is the right thing to do. But the funny thing is, this is the one time in life, so too often, no good deed goes unpunished. That does not apply here. This is a good deed, and you will not be punished. You will be rewarded. So please, please, please go back through every single person you've sold over the last 5 years, 10 years, and do a 21 light, and you will be making money hand over fist by doing the right thing. And with everything going on in the economy right now, do you think they're going to be appreciate the fact that you're dotting the I's and crossing the T's for them? Make sense? Awesome. So I am getting adamant here, preachy here on my soapbox here, because if we truly believe in what we're doing, that we want to be the knight in shining armor, the advisor on the white horse, if you have not done these 21 lights with your clients, you are a salesperson, not an advisor, because all the things we do in the non-financial are financially related. Make sense? Awesome. You guys have a great rest of the week, and we will talk to you all next Monday. Thanks, everybody.